Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Reese's Pieces. After the Black History segment, I received several requests about my take on love for the month of February. Who am I to deny my fans what it is that they want? So, here we are, Reese's Pieces, the Love Edition. Ooh. Ah. so, before we dive in, stop that. I see you. Stop judging me. Yes, I am in my robe. I am at home. Therefore, I am able to be comfortable. If you don't like it, we could turn this off. Otherwise, keep watching. Anyway, let's start off from a psychological standpoint. Let's break down what love is. All right. So there are 6 types of love, right? In the psychological world, we break them down as eros, ludus, storge, pragma, mania, and agape. Okay, so you have eros, which is the passionate, physical, emotional type of love. That's your stereotypical romantic love. You have ludus, which is the type of love that those players out there like. Love. This ludus treats love as a game. So that's for them players. Y'all always in the game, playing the game, all that good stuff. Then you have storge, which is your friendship type of love. You have pragma, which is really a disconnect between heart and mind. Basically, what it means is you think you love somebody, but you don't know in your heart if you love them or not. Mania, which is the obsessive type of love. That's that crazy love. That's that if I can't be with you, nobody else can be type love. Yeah, mania, M-A-N-I-A, short for maniac. Leave them people alone. And then you have agape, which is what we typically relate love to. Most people know what agape is. It's the selfless type of love. It's more spiritual. It's the general term for what we acknowledge love to be, right? All right, so that's the psychological version. All right, let's break that down into 2 phrases, more in our layman's terms. You have 2 types of love. You have love, which is like your real love, and then you have lust, which is like your not so real love. All right, so you always hear this phrase, love is blind. Side note, shout out to EVE. When I was in college, you had a song out called Love is Blind. That was like my favorite song in college. Me and my roommate, Robert Johnson. What up, Rob? We used to blast that song all the time, way before anybody else had even heard it. It wasn't even playing on the radio yet. And we was listening to that joint, you know what I'm saying? Love is blind, and it'll take over your mind. Oh, my bad, I got carried away. So, anyway, you always hear this phrase, love is blind. Well, I don't think so. I disagree with that statement. I don't think love is blind. Lust, on the other hand, I believe lust is blind. I believe love is all-seeing and accepting. All right? Let me break that down for you. Love is seeing all of the flaws, right? All of the blemishes, anything that you can see that may not be so attractive, but because you love them, you deal with it anyway, right? Love is accepting all the bad habits, all the mannerisms, and working around them, all right? Love is recognizing all the fears and all the insecurities, and knowing that your role is to come in and comfort this person, to be there for them, to help them through those things. Love is working through all the challenges and all of the painful and hard times. You know what I'm saying? This is something that comes about with love, with real, true love. Lust, on the other hand, is kind of a facade. It looks like love, but it really isn't love. And because lust isn't really love, then it's not real, then it has no foundation, it has no basis. And what happens is when the hard times come, lust falls apart. Because lust is fragile. It just breaks apart when things get hard. If life isn't perfect, lust fails. But love, on the other hand, love is strong. Love, it strengthens. Love builds up. Why? Because love is real. All right? But the biggest problem, the biggest pitfall that we have, our hardest challenge when it comes to love, is the fact that we don't know how to communicate with each other. We don't know how to communicate how to love someone, how we want that person to love us. And that's why I love this book by this guy named Gary Chapman. It's called The 5 Love Languages. If you've never heard of it, if you haven't never read it, you need to take time. Go read it. Find out a lot about yourself. I found out a lot about myself from reading this book. And what he does is he breaks down the 5 love languages. This is words of affirmation, physical touch, receiving gifts, quality time, and acts of service. Okay? In the book, he tells you how to communicate within each one of these love languages. He tells you what actions to take and what things to avoid in order to be successful in communicating love between each other. It's a great book. I mean, really, if you've never read it, you need to go read it. If it wasn't for this book, I wouldn't have learned a lot about myself because I was challenged with love. Challenged. Yes, I was challenged. I know it's hard to believe, but I was challenged with love, with loving my friends, with loving a significant other, with loving my child, with loving my parents. I was challenged with those things, but because of this book, I've learned a lot about it. But that's not the only book. That's not the only book that teaches us how to love one another. Let's leave the lay terms and the psychological version of love, and let's break it down into a spiritual realm. All right. 1 Corinthians 13 has been deemed the love chapter. Why? Because it all it talks about is love, but it specifically defines what love is. And if you think about it, the Bible as a whole is a book of love. That's all it is from the beginning to the end. All it's talking about is how much God loves us, how much we love God, and all that in between. That's what the Bible is. The Bible is the book of love. Okay? In 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 7, it breaks down some specifics about what love is. It says that love is patient, love is kind, love doesn't envy. It's slow to anger. It's not easily provoked. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. These are things that if someone truly loves you, or if you truly love somebody, that you embody within yourself, because that's what real love is. And if you really, really try to get into this love thing, then you have to look no further than Jesus Christ. He loved us more than anybody has ever loved us in the entire world. Okay? And all he asked us to do is just to follow him. It's real simple, right? He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Well, what does that mean? All right, let's break that down. He left us with 2 commandments. In Matthew, he says, these 2 things I leave to you, that you love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and that you love one another as yourself. Sounds simple, right? Okay, so is there any bystanders, any actual specific rules or anything to go by in order for us to do that? Yeah, of course. But they've always been there. We're the ones who don't recognize it. The 10 Commandments tells us exactly how to love God and how to love each other. Yes, it does. You don't believe me? Watch this. First 4 commandments in the 10 Commandments tells us how to love God. It says, do not worship any other gods. It says, do not have any idols. It says, do not take the Lord's name in vain. It says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Those 4 verses, those 4 commandments tells us exactly how we are to love God. Simple. 4 commandments. That's it. Right? Then the last 6 are broken down in order for us to love one another. Number 5 starts off with honor thy father and thy mother. Okay, that's basic. Then it says, do not kill, do not steal, do not cheat, do not lie, and don't be jealous. That's not hard. If you love somebody, you're not gonna lie to them, you're not gonna cheat on them, you're not gonna steal from them, you're surely not gonna try to kill them. You know what I'm saying? It's real basic. All right. So if anything at all, if you really, really, truly are trying to figure out what love is, in this month of February with Valentine's and all this other stuff that we like to talk about, hearts and candies and all that stuff, if you really want to know about love, the only place you need to look is the Bible. The Bible breaks it down for you better than anything else can. The Bible is the number 1 place where you can go to find out what love is, how to love somebody, and what to expect if someone says that they love you. All right? Hey, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Reese's Pieces. If you guys wouldn't mind, leave some comments. Let me know what you think. If you have a suggestion for a segment that you would like to hear, let me know. I love to talk, so it ain't nothing for me. Just go ahead, tag it down there. Hashtag Reese's Pieces. Let me know what you think. I'm out. Thanks again. Have a good weekend. Whatever you're searching for, you don't have to look
The love of Jesus is all you need.